Hey guys, KingSpeaks here with another book review video. In this video I'm going to be talking about Star Wars Darth Plagueis by James Luceno, or Luceno, however it's pronounced. So I'm going to start off by saying that this book, as awesome as it is not actually considered canon anymore. When Disney acquired Star Wars back in 2012, I guess it was, what came with that was a whole history of expanding universe novels. I have read a lot of these novels, by the way. A lot of them. A lot of those books are actually written way better than any of the Star Wars movies are themselves. But one of the things that Disney wanted to do in continuing the franchise is disassociating from the Legends storylines so that they could have a fresh start and not be tied down by the continuity, which I understand, but at the same time, they're kind of missing out on a lot of really good stuff. This one included. So if you don't know who Darth Plagueis is, he is a Sith Lord who ultimately was the master of Palpatine, the Emperor, in the movies. And actually in the prequels, Darth Plagueis is actually mentioned in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, when Palpatine is telling Anakin about a Sith legend about Darth Plagueis the Wise, and you eventually find out that the apprentice that he's talking about in the story is, of course, himself, when he became Darth Sidious, which ultimately is what the book Darth Plagueis is about. It is about the Sith Lord, Darth Plagueis, a Mun, or Moon, however you pronounce the species, coming across a young Palpatine, Sheev Palpatine, and taking him under his wing to become his apprentice. This book really made Darth Plagueis a well-rounded character. If you only go by the description of him that Palpatine does in the movie, there's not a lot to go by, other than that he was wise and he had some very particular Force-imbued skills that would come into play later on. It's not really ever expanded upon, so this novel does that really well. One of the weird things about it, though, is being a book about Darth Plagueis, once Sidious comes into his own and he gets all of his power, it really ends up becoming sort of a Palpatine novel about his rise to power and his ascension in the Senate and everything else that he's doing in the background. But the book does actually do a really good job of connecting the two of them and their history and informing you how Sidious became a Sith Lord himself. It also gives great little tidbits of foreshadowing Vader to come in the future, because that is a big part of Plagueis' power and whether he might have actually created Anakin or not. Another cool aspect to this book that I really enjoyed is that the author really does a good job of weaving historical moments in the Star Wars universe, especially leading up to The Phantom Menace, weaving in these different plot points that actually kind of legitimize at least parts of The Phantom Menace. Things like the pod race and what was going on Naboo to actually lead to Palpatine's ascension. One of the weaker parts of the book, I felt, was actually the introduction of Darth Maul. As much as I like Darth Maul as a character, he just kind of shows up as a baby, and it's just thrust upon Palpatine, just sort of a shoehorned way of actually bringing him into the trilogy as well. I felt it was kind of out of place, but it's necessary because Darth Maul is an actual character, right? You can't ignore him. But yeah, I would say that the strengths of this book are definitely depicting the relationship between Plagueis and Sidious and their rise to secret power, and ultimately what happens between the two of them. And I like the fact that it does kind of legitimize some of the prequel trilogy as well. There are also a lot of rumors that have gone around online with The Force Awakens and Supreme Leader Snoke and all that, and there's a lot of people wondering if maybe Snoke is actually Plagueis, sort of a reinterpreted version of him. I thought of that as well when I first saw the movie. I leaned towards that rumor, but actually after reading this book, it's made me lean away from that, and I'm getting the idea that Snoke is something else altogether, something much more powerful, in fact. But as far as Star Wars Darth Plagueis goes, as a novel, I would say it's one of the strongest Star Wars novels written out there. I would rate it right up there along with like Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire trilogy, things like that. You end up caring about Plagueis, and you end up caring about Palpatine too, you know, before his rise to power and becoming the Emperor. It's actually really well done and really interesting in that way. So I'm definitely going to rate Star Wars Darth Plagueis as worthy. Alright guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, because I like when you give me likes. And as always, if you want to keep up to date with my channel, and you haven't already, click subscribe to become a knight in the King's Army today. You know you wanna. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next one.